United Breweries, they reported a stable set of numbers in the first quarter. Two of its biggest markets, which is Karnataka and West Bengal, saw some pressure. Karnataka, you wouldn't be surprised as well. So now that the elections are over in Karnataka and the new distribution system has been in place for some time in West Bengal, will the going get better? Let's find out from Shekhar Ramamurthy. He's the MD at United Breweries and he joins us right now on the show. Shekhar, so good having you. Thank you so much for speaking with us today at Bloomberg Quint. This is Neeraj here. Good morning. I look at your numbers, I look at the industry volumes, and if I only looking at the volumes, you've done a fantastic thing, 12% versus I think the industry average of 9%. Did Uttar Pradesh largely play a part out here?
Well, Neeraj, as we reported, our overall volumes were strong. However, Uttar Pradesh, unfortunately, we couldn't fully participate because we were short of capacity. So our 12% would have been much stronger if we had the capacity to meet Uttar Pradesh demand. Hopefully, as the year goes on, we will be able to feed the UP market fully and will make up some of our opportunity loss. But our growths have come broad-based in many places. The only point or the state which is a matter of concern is West Bengal, and not just for us, it's for the industry. On the back of steep excise duty hike, which the government put through last January, the industry is declining 40-45%. So are we. So therefore, barring West Bengal, the industry is quite solid. Karnataka was not really a issue of the industry. You know, whenever there are elections in our country, there are major disruptions in the ability to supply because, election codes of conduct come in, which means that we have to stop dispatches by 5 p.m. We're not allowed extra shifts to work. So those were operational issues, but that's behind us now.
Interesting. So Uttar Pradesh, you were not able to participate in full capacity. Karnataka is behind you. West Bengal might, let's say, continue to stay as is. Am I to assume, Shekhar, that quarter two, maybe quarter three will actually bring out a better performance on the volume front as opposed to what we've seen in quarter one? Because you might be able to participate in a better way in Uttar Pradesh as well compared to what you did in quarter one.
Well, if you're asking me whether we will continue to grow around 12%, 13%, yes, I think we will. We will. Like I said, the market is growing in many parts of the country, 9-10%, and we are confident of being able to grow ahead of that. So yes, quarter two, quarter three also should see growth in the region of 12-13%.
Just an off-the-cuff question. The news that we got was that Maharashtra has cut excise duty on strong beer from 235% of manufacturing cost to 175%, if I'm not wrong. Does this give a bit of a tail to the state of Maharashtra for you as a company?
Well, Neeraj, I need to clarify this because, lots of people are asking us about this. There has actually been no change in duty structure for beer in Maharashtra. So it's some kind of slight misreporting which has happened. Oh. And this is actually for RTDs and not for beer at all. So beer duties went up last October and they continue to be very high.
Oops. Okay. So thanks for giving that clarification. Now, Shekhar, one small question that I think the street has, and I'm reading out from one of the reports that has come out, and they are saying that according to them, of course, the numbers that you've given out were in line because they anyways had higher than street estimates. But there is a line that out there, Shekhar, in the report which says that we await clarity on why value growth is trailing volume growth despite price hikes and a favorable state mix. How would you respond to this?
Well, the value growth is not trailing. Typically, we have a value growth that's a little bit ahead of volume growth. So I think that's what the market is expecting from us. But that will catch up. It's a matter of state mix. If you see quarter one, West Bengal is a high revenue market, but it declined. Rajasthan is a low revenue market because of very high duties, price control, and that grew very fast. So it's a question of state mix. The markets of Telangana and Andhra grew very rapidly. And they are relatively lower price to us because the government fixes the price at that level for us. So it's a matter of state mix, not a fundamental issue.
Okay. You reckon it will change starting quarter two itself, looking at the state mix figures as well?
Well, I can't say that because the states of Rajasthan and Telangana are growing fast. Now, the way we see it is we are a national player. We want to be leaders in all parts of the country, and we have a wide portfolio both of states and of brands, which will help us drive revenue ahead of the industry and drive revenue ahead of the volume growth. So we will continue to participate fully in the growths in Telangana, Andhra, Rajasthan, and we will look at driving the growth of our super premium brands and of our profitable states. So in time, I'm not saying it'll happen in Q2, Q3, but in time, our revenue growth will continue to be ahead of volume growth.
Interesting. I have two more questions, Shekhar. One is on the operational metrics. Now, you obviously had a fairly decent gross margin expansion, 156 basis points, if I'm not wrong, in the quarter gone by. Looking at how the MSP price increases might shape up for barley, for example, how do you visualize the gross margin performance for you as a company in quarter two, arguably quarter three, when they might take shape and form?
Well, typically quarter one is our highest margin. You'd expect that because it's the largest volume. We're able to absorb our fixed costs much better. Coming specifically to barley prices have started to go up, but there is still not as high as they were 2-3 years ago, and we have factored that into our annual plans. Sugar prices are softer. So all in all, I would say that yes, we have factored in the energy prices going up and bottle prices therefore go up, but all that has been factored in by us.
Okay, my last question, Shekhar, and that's a two-part question. One is, I remember a conversation that we had a couple of quarters ago, wherein you very confidently had mentioned that whatever happens to the industry, you will gain market share. If the market share losses are to come in, it will be at the expense of others, but you as a leader will only keep your market share intact or grow that. Has that happened in the quarter gone by? And part two of my question.
Yeah, it has.
Okay, let's answer this and then I'll come to the last question.
Yes, it has. I mean, industry has grown 9-10%. We have grown 12%. So we have held market share, marginally added to it. Yes, that's our stated business objective, and we're reasonably confident that we will achieve that.
Okay, interesting. My last question, all through the years when we have tracked elections, there are a couple of factors which are at crossroads. One is a lot of popular sentiment is that during the run-up to the elections, alcohol sales will go up. Now we're seeing a trend wherein, because of the factors that you mentioned that happen in the state of Karnataka, there are some disruptions that happen in volumes, and as a result of that, sales get impacted as well. The next 12 months is the busiest election calendar that we've had in a while.
Yeah.
How do you expect these 12 months to shape up? Not just the 9 months of the current fiscal, but maybe the next quarter as well, which might well have the national elections.
No, it's a fair question, Neeraj. As I always say, elections are a hindrance to our business, and they don't aid it, particularly for beer. Beer doesn't lubricate elections. All the rules in terms of dispatch, in terms of hours we're allowed to operate, outlet closures on account of voting days and counting days, all those are a huge disruption for our business. So yes, it's going to be very challenging because there are many state elections coming up in the next 6 months, and then, as you rightly pointed out, quarter one of next year is most likely to be the national election. It's going to be a big challenge, and it'll call for a whole lot of very meticulous planning from our supply chain and sales teams to be able to mitigate the disruptions.
And trust me, we wish your sales team and you all the best for doing all of that and keeping your investors happy. Thank you so much, Shekhar Ramamurthy, for joining in today and giving us those thoughts.
Thank you.